Hi guys, Jennifer West-Granahan here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we have another special guest. I know I've been pounding you guys with inspiration, man, because listen, I want to show you that you can do this, okay? And my special guest, Chris, today is going to tell you how, while working, okay, he managed to close, actually I think he closed 2 deals so far, but we're going to talk about the most recent one. Okay, and we'll go into it. But Chris, first, tell us where you're from, my friend. Tell us how long you've been doing wholesaling, and then we'll take it from there.
So I've been doing wholesaling like part-time. The 24th of this month in June, it'll be officially 1 year from me actually like just starting to learn it, watching YouTube videos, watching yourself, you know. So yeah, just doing research. I probably started that week in June. But I'm originally from New York. I moved down here to Florida a long time ago. So I'm Floridian now. You know, it's been like 8, 9, 10 years probably. But yeah, I'm in Orlando now. But yeah, I'm working full time. You know, I was able to close out 2 deals part time. It wasn't easy, you know, but yeah, this most recent one was like mind blowing. Now,
so first of all, he's been doing his research, learning, gathering information, but at the same time, I suspect, obviously taking action at the same time.
For sure.
Okay, so between starting to learn, you know, between this year time, how long did it take you to get to deal number 1?
It took me 6 months.
Okay, so I remind you guys, again, it took him 6 months. And again, that's relatively fast, okay? That is relatively fast, and this is him doing it while working, okay, while working. So I'm saying that because a lot of you guys have the excuse that you don't have time. There's always time. You have to create time. So, all right, so for second deal, we'll talk about the second deal because you made a cool 20K on deal 20K. That's no chump change, man. Okay, so how did you get this lead? Where was it from? What marketing was it? Cold calling, bandit sign?
It was cold calling. So I ended up finding a deal here in Orlando in Orange County. You can look up like evictions, and it's all public record. So I just looked up recent evictions. I found the landlord's number, and it was all follow-up. I remember I called her, and you know, she was telling me that she would maybe sell. You know, she has tenants in there to follow up with her in May of next year. You know, when I called her, it was maybe.
So Chris, to interject, the first point of contact was when?
This was back in November.
Oh wow, November, and you just closed this deal in what, June, or was it May?
In May I got it under contract, and I just closed it out.
Okay. That's something that I talk about all the time. There is money in the follow-up, okay? Because if you're not following up, someone else is following up and stealing your deal from you. And remember, okay, this is a key point. When you are following up with someone, you're no longer a cold call, man, okay? They remember you and bring up something that you spoke about, so they understand that, you know, you're actually caring about their situation. So they're like, all right, Chris, you know, building rapport. So, all right, so that's awesome. Awesome. All right, so now you're talking to her. Keep going.
Yeah, so I remember speaking to her. She was telling me that she wasn't ready to sell. She wanted to wait until around like May to retire, and that's at that point she wanted to sell the property. At that point, I just wrote it down, and I'll follow up with her maybe like once a month. And she knew what I was calling for. You know, she knew I wanted to do business, but she kept telling me, I'm not ready. I let her rock for a little bit. I called her back in May when she told me to call her.
Okay.
Said, hey, you know.
Okay. And did she go with offer number 1, or was there some negotiating going on? Did she own it free and clear? Tell us about, was there a mortgage?
So there was a mortgage on the property. But I had to set the appointment, you know. So I set the appointment. She invited me out to the house. And once I got there, she had a couple of tenants in there. She was a little embarrassed just because of the condition of how they had the property in. And then we just kind of got into the deal. I told her not to really worry about the condition too much. I was just going to walk around, take some pictures, videos. And then once we sat down, she just pretty much told me what she wanted, which made it like super easy for me. She told me that there was a mortgage on the property. She didn't know how much was on it. She believed it was about $60K. and she just wanted $20,000 to walk with.
Really? Now, what was the ARV, Chris?
ARV on the property is about 125.
And she only wanted 20?
She only wanted 20K.
Now, what was her motivation? Like, what was the motivation that she just wanted to get the hell out? Just tired landlord situation?
Tired landlord. That's
Okay.
why at this point, I feel like that's going to be one of the main lists that I target or that I try to build on my own, just because, you know, if I see that there's an eviction going down in Orange County in the clerk of courts, I already see the motivation there, you know. You must have a problem tenant. But yeah, that's all it was. She just had tenants in there that weren't paying rent. They were destroying the home. She didn't want to deal with it anymore. She was like an elderly lady. She's in her late 60s, I think 70s maybe. And yeah, she just wanted to walk away with it. So I ran the numbers really quick. I sent the contract the same night, and we got to work, you know.
Okay, so you didn't even have to negotiate. At 20, because you were like done, because you know the ARV is 120. So how much in repairs do you think the property needed?
What was that?
How much repairs do you think the property needed?
All right, so that's one thing. I did something a little different with this property, because on my last deal, the way I was marketing it, I was telling people what I thought the ARV was and what the repairs were. But to be honest, I'm no contractor, so I would just be giving out a ballpark on the repairs. I'm really not too sure. So with this one, I thought repairs might have been around maybe 15, 20K.
Okay, so it wasn't that bad. Okay, so now just to speak on that, to newbies, okay, you are not contractors unless you are. So what I typically suggest to people that, you know, when they go see the property, bring a contractor with you. Most of them do provide free estimates, okay? At least in my market, most people do provide free estimates, and that's how you'll learn too. But when you're getting a killer deal like Chris and it's 20K and you know the ARV is $120, I mean, unless the house is a complete gut, you know that you could definitely sell that property for like, well, first of all, let's go into it. First, what did you market the contract for?
I was just going to do a 10K spread. So I had it for 80. I was going to sell it for 90, just because the area that it's in, based on what I've seen that has sold, was around that ceiling. It was around 100K, 110, you know, around there for cash purchases. So I was like, all right, let's do 90 and see what happens, you know. If I get a bidding...
So let me clarify. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I made a mistake, and I want the viewers to make sure that they understand that there was a $60,000 mortgage, okay?
Yeah.
Plus the 20 that she wanted to clear. So the 60 plus 20 ended him under contract for 80.
Right.
Okay? And the ARV is $120. So that's not, you know, that's not really, I mean, that's a lot of room, but not really, depending on how much work, you know what I mean? So, all right, so you were starting to market it for 90?
90K, yeah.
So then how did you end up with 20K? Did it get bid up?
Yeah, exactly. So so once I had the property, I sent it out to a couple of the buyers that I've already established a relationship with.
Awesome.
A lot of people were telling me that, you know, the numbers were too tight. They were just saying the numbers weren't going to work. They will come back with a counter offer. So at this point, I'm thinking I have this under contract for way too much. You know, I'm going to have to renegotiate and try to get the numbers lower. But one of my buyers responded to me and said, hey, actually, I'm working on a property down the block. This is walking distance to me. Can I go see it right now? So I checked with the seller. She said, yes, you know, feel free. He went in. He wrote me back. He said, I'll take it for 90K. So I'm like, all right, perfect. So once we have it under contract with him for 90K, he tells me that he wants to do a double close. He wants to then, you know, sell it off to an end buyer. I'm like, okay. To my knowledge, he's also a flipper. I don't know what he was doing as far as like maybe he just didn't want to take the project on himself, and he was just gonna maybe wholesale it himself.
So you had it under contract, and then he wanted to then double close it to another end buyer.
Right. So So once we have the title work prepared, and it's time for him to come up with the funds, he ends up calling me saying that he can't come up with it. He got into a divorce. His wife doesn't want to come up with the funds. And he tells me, look, I'm just going to give you the end buyer and just take me out of the deal.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. So he said that he was going to resell it for 120. So I'm like, this is like retail price. So now at this point we have a 40K spread, and he was pretty much just gonna hand that to me. But I felt bad, you know. We established a little bit of a relationship. So I told him, hey, we'll do 50-50. You know, I'll keep 20, you keep the other 20K, and
And
we'll
that's the
sort
right
this
thing
out.
to do. That was the
Yeah,
right thing to do. And
just for my own,
he's
just for my
rare.
own conscience, you know.
He's rare though, okay? Because any other
Yeah, for
person would have
sure.
been like, you better cut me into the deal. But that's
Right.
because there are a lot of sharks in there. But you definitely did the right thing, my friend, and you know that comes right back around to you.
I'm hoping so, you know. But yeah, I'm not too greedy, you know. But for sure, yeah. I mean, I told him, I was like, well, maybe the buyer can take care of you on the back end. He said he didn't think that was the case. So I told him, look, if you're gonna sell it for 120, in my head, I'm saying that's already 10K more than I was expecting. Let's just do
Right.
50-50
Winning.
and, you know, we'll close it out.
Winning all day. So now, first of all, let's rewind for a second. Now, was this going to be delivered vacant, or did the end buyer have to proceed with the eviction?
He had to proceed with the eviction.
Okay. Yeah. And how long is that typically in Florida?
I mean, here in Orange County, they are super pro rental. So it could take a while.
Oh, okay.
But luckily, everybody left the property. Once they found out that it was sold, everyone left. There wasn't really a lease set up with the seller.
Okay.
Nobody was really under contract. So once they figured out that it was sold, she told them that she would have them trespass. And at this point, they figured out where to go.
Okay.
But it was kind of like a drug-infested home, you know? So it,
right.
You know.
Is that the area? Is that the whole area, or was that just that particular rental?
The area is pretty run down. The area is pretty run down. Yeah.
Okay. So now the end buyer, was he a Section 8 buyer, or he was going to be rented too, or was he going to sell it as a retail flipper?
So he's already started renovation, so he's flipping it.
He's flipping it retail, not renting.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
So one thing I will say is that I could have my numbers all wrong. Once I figured out that he bought it for 120, he was completely fine with, you know, the spread that we were making. I'm thinking my ARV could be completely wrong, or there's just different types of buyers out here that maybe they're running their numbers differently, you know, but he bought it at pretty much retail.
Now you have to, and there are different types of buyers, okay? And I do tell people, know your buyer, because you can make a bigger spread. So, yeah. For example, if this is a guy that flips, you know, multiple properties a month, he's going to have his construction team, and they're doing work for him wholesale. You know what I'm saying? Because he's giving them so much work. So whereas a regular person who maybe only does a few deals a year, it's going to cost them $20K to fix. This guy, it's going to cost him 10. You know? And if he, and then again, I don't know if you said he's going to flip it retail. So then it's very possible that your ARV did have more room, because it had to have more room. So
and that's a good point I kind of want to make. I really don't know much of what I'm doing. I know how to get a property under contract. I'm pretty good at negotiating as far as running numbers on renovation and ARV. I'm not really that guy yet, you know. I know how to run some comps.
But yet, okay, you closed 2 deals, 120K. You could have potentially made 40, okay?
For sure.
If you were that greedy, you know, MFer. But so wait, how much was the first deal?
All right, so the first deal, there were some hiccups with that one as well. So I had a 9K spread. That one I found it. I was at my wit's end. I was pretty much saying like, this is not gonna work. I was driving for dollars. I wasn't getting anywhere. But I ended up finding a for sale by owner, FISBO. So I was like, perfect. The number's already here. You know, I don't have to skip trace anything. I called her. But yeah, long story short, I had her under contract. I had a 9K spread, but she wanted to close in 2 weeks. She wanted to close on her next property. So I brought in another wholesaler that brought me a buyer. And we split it. You know, it was 60-40. So I kept 5, he kept 4. But once we got to closing, my contract wasn't correct. It didn't say that the buyer had to take care of all closing costs.
It didn't.
So it didn't. So I had to, of course, that's a learning experience. Now I've changed my contract. But yeah, at closing, I had to take care of some of the costs there just because of my own mistake, you know?
Okay.
So I ended up making $2,500 on that one.
Okay. But at the end of the day, my friend Chris, I mean, I have to applaud you for taking action, because in taking action, so what? You made $2,000, whatever, but you made $20,000 on the next one. So without even knowing everything about the business, you made over $22,000.
Yeah.
Now that is a testament to those of you who feel like you have to know everything before you start. Now I'm not, obviously, you know, dealing with a seller who's motivated has a serious problem potentially. So you want to know, have an idea of what you're doing, so you don't put, you know, the seller in a bad position. But so obviously Chris had an idea of what he was doing. Okay. He's just saying he didn't know every single thing, but he still took action and learned from it. Okay. If that's not something to learn from, or just look at Chris, the example, I mean, I don't know why you guys are still on the sidelines, man, because to me, this is like, it's so exciting. So, all right, let's talk about some of the things that people have questions about. Okay. So when let's talk about deal number 2, whatever. When you got the property under contract, you're in Florida. Florida is a title closing state, correct?
It is.
So you, as your deposit, you put how much down?
I didn't put down anything.
You put down nothing.
Put down nothing.
So, all right, so talk me through this. You get the contract, because mind you guys, okay, a contract needs consideration, okay?
Consideration.
Okay, to make it valid. But when you have a buyer, okay, so you talk me through this, okay? So you get the property under contract with the seller, but there's no consideration, meaning, but you guys, it's signed by you and her, right?
Right.
And you have and/or assigns after your name. Now you have your contract. Now, did you bring it to the title company yet, or no?
Yeah, once I had it all signed through like a DocuSign, you know.
Electronic signatures. I speak on this all the time. Send them electronically, man, and these people sign them in the middle hours of the night when they're just like, hell, I need to get the hell rid of this property. And you wake up to a signed contract, and it's like, game on. Gotta find a buyer.
Yep. Yeah, that's like the best email you can get. You know, once you get that contract signed, I'm like,
yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, so now contract signed. Now, you sent it to the title company, okay?
Right.
And did they ask you, you know, Chris, we need some type of money to open up escrow? Like, what did they say to you?
No. I mean, even with the first deal that I had, I put down no deposit. On my contract, I pretty much just, you know, I put NA there, you know, nothing was put in there for the deposit.
You actually put NA?
Yeah.
That's incredible. Okay. I have to say that's incredible, because I know in my market in New York, Long Island, hell to the no. Am I getting away with not applicable? Okay.
Yeah. So look at this. That happened to me one time. I almost had a lot in out here in Windermere, which is like a high-end area.
Yeah.
And you know, he just wanted to sell the lot. So it was lakefront, you know, it was you know, somebody could put a buildable lot there. It was super nice. Buildable dock. So once I get to put it under contract, I had nothing there. And he was like, well, you know, I need some type of deposit to show good faith. So I told him I was going to put down $100, you know, but the lot was $200,000, but I could have, you know, made like maybe 10K on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he didn't take that lightly. He thought that was super disrespectful.
Right.
He's like $100, like, no, he's like, handed my contract right back to me. I was like, all right.
Right. Which is crazy, because you could sell it. Okay. And you know, and that happens a lot, like, especially in my market, some people don't even want, you know, some people, you know, even $10,000 is disrespectful. Okay. Yeah. But it's like, I'm going to sell your contract, but to them in their brain, because people are so used to straightforward retail deals, not creative structuring, okay, they're already turned off, okay? Yeah. So, but that just means that the guy wasn't that motivated, because you had 2 other deals where they could care less, okay? Yeah. So now, all right, so now you bring the contract to the title company. There's no deposit down. Now you're marketing it to your buyer, okay? And you sign an assignment contract with your buyer.
Right. So, well, I ended up assigning it to my end buyer, who ended up putting down a deposit with the title company. So I charged him the deposit. He put down $3K.
So what
but
did
again,
you get? So did you take a non-refundable deposit from your end buyer, or you just said this deposit is going to basically be the down payment for the property?
Yeah, I put it down as a down payment for the property.
Okay. So listen, look how you could structure deals, okay, to get stuff done at the end of the day. Okay. I just want to stress that Chris put nothing down, man. Okay. Nothing down. Again, that's not going to work all the time. Okay. And especially depending on your market, but a lot of markets, you will be able to do that. I'm not going to lie. Okay. New York is a little bit different. It's a lot bit different. Okay.
Yeah.
But, we still get it done. So, all right. So so the title company, did you get this title company as a referral? How did you find the title company that was able to do assignments for you?
They were the same title company I used for my first deal. And the way I found them was just calling around, asking them if they were investor friendly, if they knew about wholesaling, about signing contracts, and if they can really, I pretty much just spilled the beans and told them that I'm just starting out. I need someone that's really going to help me out. And I got lucky. I found a lady that, she was super responsive. Communication was just on point. She really helped me out through that first deal.
And that's why I tell you guys, it's very important to find an investor-friendly, either title company or attorney, because they are going to push your deal through, man. Once you get that contract signed, they're going to push it through, okay? Because now they're getting paid on the title search and all that stuff. So at the end of the day, you're bringing them business. So Chris was calling around, and that's cool. But, another good way to find an investor-friendly title company or attorney is to go into, like, biggerpockets.com and network, okay? Go to Facebook groups and ask people, I'm in so-and-so area. How can I find, can you recommend an investor-friendly title company? So, dude, that is awesome. So, now, you closed that $20K deal, like 3 weeks ago?
Like just last week.
So, last week.
So it was closed out, but I didn't get the wire until last week, because this was like the property from hell. So this lady, she's an elderly woman. We were already under contract. Someone else calls her about the property, another wholesaler. She asks them, hey, are you guys with Chris? They said, yeah, we have a Chris here. And she proceeds to sign a contract with them.
What?
So
but you had a contract signed with her already, right?
Right, exactly. So she ends up calling me right after, and she's like, Chris, what company are you with? And I'm like, I'm not. I mean, I have my own LLC, but I pretty much represent myself. And she's like, well, I just had a representative call me saying that they were with you, and I just signed another contract. I'm like, no, lady, no. So I'm like, I need to see the contract that you signed. She wasn't computer savvy, so I couldn't really see it. She would send me pictures of it. There was no close date. It was just it was a mess.
Right.
So they ended up putting in a notice of interest on the property once they had that signed with her.
Yeah.
So that came up on title work. So we had to get them to do a cancellation, like an affidavit, I think it's called. Once we got that handled, we were able to receive our wire. But yeah, we were already closed out as of last week.
Okay, so you guys see how you could have like ups and downs. So listen, when you
a roller coaster,
100% roller coaster, man. When you are dealing with maybe a seller that's not, that's elderly or not as savvy, you definitely have to remind them to not do anything unless they contact you. So you stay in control of the deal because they get confused. Okay, and if they're really motivated, man, honestly, they're not asking that many questions, man, because they just want to get rid of it. So they're just like, where the hell do I sign? You're with Chris? Oh, okay, where do I sign? Okay, and she's not really paying attention. So, Chris, that's awesome. So now that you have, first of all, okay, Chris had his check wired to him. So now, did you choose not to do closing because you were at work?
Yeah, exactly why.
Yeah, because if you weren't at work, you probably would have gone, right?
For sure.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. When you're at a closing and you see that you've essentially orchestrated that whole thing, right? It's like, I put this together, and you're like, especially when it's your first few deals, I have to be honest, you know, when I was sitting at the closing table, especially in New York, and people are like, are you the agent? And I was licensed, but I wasn't acting as an agent, okay?
Right.
But when you see that everyone is at this table because of you, okay?
Yeah.
It's a huge like aha moment telling you that you could do this over and over and over and over again. So dude, I'm so ecstatic, excited, and so proud of you. Like, do you feel like a little bit like in shock?
Yeah. It's kind of like a little surreal, that I was able to pull that off. Because to be honest, I wasn't expecting that big of a check.
Right.
And once it was going on, man, my anxiety hit.
Right.
Every time my phone call hit, whether it was the seller or the title company or the buyer, I was like, what's going on? What's going wrong?
Right.
Good news.
Right.
And it wasn't until I got that wire that I was able to like relax a little bit. But
a little bit.
Yeah.
Dude, once the wire hits, it's done.
Yeah, right?
Done. It's signed, sealed, and delivered. This is the time to celebrate, and this is the time to raise your vibrational frequency, because now you could set a momentum, okay?
Yeah.
And get to deal 3, 4, and 5. And this is the time to take that money and amp up your marketing. If you're finding evictions are working for you, spend a decent penny on evictions. Maybe even since you're at work, since you know how to handle phone calls, now you could get virtual assistants involved, okay? Calling fee. There's a lot of things that you could do now since, you know a little bit about that. So, dude, that is awesome, okay? I wanted to, Chris was on my live on Instagram, last week sometime, and he was telling me that, he closed his second deal, 20K. So I asked him if he wanted to, share his journey with you guys on YouTube to inspire you and let you know. And Chris is proof that he didn't know everything, but he did know, obviously had an idea of what he was supposed to be doing, okay? But he didn't know every single thing, okay?
I still don't.
Right.
Yeah. I'm still learning.
Exactly. But you know what? In real estate, you're always learning. There's always, because essentially, okay, the thing that is the same is that it's going to be a motivated seller. You're going to sign your contract for a fee. Everything in between is going to change, situation. So there's always going to be something to learn that's different. Okay. As long as you guys continue to take that leap of faith, man. Okay. And you never know where it's going to lead. Hell, with Chris, it could have led to a 40K check. Okay. But his heart told him, listen, this guy is going through a divorce. I got to hook him up, And listen, that's huge, because real estate is a huge relationship-based business. Okay. And that guy's going to remember you, bro. Okay.
Man, I hope so. A lot of people tell me I'm too nice, but I just want to do things right. I'd rather not anything bite me in the ass in the future and me think like it was because I cut this guy out of the deal or whatever it may be.
Right. And listen, that will come back to you in a good way. 100%. If it's not from him, it's going to be from something else. That's just the way the universe works. Okay.
Yeah.
You definitely.
If I can, I'll shout you out, because every time I needed some type of alignment, where I was just falling off track or my mind state wasn't there, I would have to look for one of your videos and you would put me right back on track. So I gotta shout you out for that,
Thank you. Definitely. Thank you. And that's why they're there for, man. Okay. And thank you for acknowledging that and letting me know that, because it just reminds me that, someone is finding this information and it's helping them move forward. Okay.
For sure.
Because we all have.
I remember the first video I saw of you was pretty much you were just saying just to take action and to go out there and put out bandit signs or something. I was like, I'm going right now. So I went to Walmart. I wrote out some bandit signs. It was 2:00 in the morning. I was done. I was like, I'm gonna put them out right now. And I went out there.
I love it. I love it.
It's just taking action. It's just doing it,
Yeah, it is taking action, man. It's everything. But, sometimes the fear sets in and your mind just like overloads you and says, no, I'm not going to be able to do this. This is not going to work. What if this happens? What if that happens? Okay? And then it makes you stop. So, you just have to press go, man. And trust me, I know how that feels. I know how that feels. So I'm completely speaking from experience. And then every single time you take action, it's never as bad as our mind plays it in our head to be. You
That's
know?
true.
So, like, even when you were getting phone calls on that deal for the eviction house for the $20K check, and you were, like, nervous, like, oh, okay, it's falling apart. What the hell's going on? You know?
Yeah.
Like, it was never as bad as you thought. And then it turned out, again, bigger. And this is because you must have a beautiful soul, Chris, because situations like what happened with you with the $40K, that he was just going to give that to you, that doesn't just happen to anyone. That is because you're a good person, and it's all coming back to you. Okay, twofold. That's why. That's no mistake. Okay, so when people tell you you're too nice, no. Okay, you're doing the right thing. If that's too nice, then that, in their opinion, then that's them. You do you.
It is what it is. Yeah.
You do you. That can't, bro. That was no coincidence that guy was gonna just hand you an additional $20K. Okay.
Yeah.
And he was just gonna hand it to you. He wasn't even fighting you. He was just like, listen, bro, I gotta get out of this. I don't have the money. You take it over. Okay. That was the universe saying, wow, you deserve this, Chris. Okay. And you said thank you. But you also said, no, let's do the right thing. Let me cut it in half. And you ended up making $10K more than you anticipated to begin with. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's the whole saying, that when you have a plan for yourself, God has a bigger plan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So.
And I don't know if it's being greedy or not, but once I did get that wire, I kind of looked at it and I was like, this is not enough. I want more now. I want that 100K wire. Like, this 20K is baby, Yeah.
Right, but now you will. Now you set the momentum, bro. You set the momentum.
Yeah.
So now it's like, be smart with that 20K. Dump it into your marketing, okay?
For sure. Yep.
And continue what you're doing. And if you want, because you're doing more marketing, like I said, you could get more people on the phone while you're at work. Or you could just bang out the phones more than you were doing, okay?
Yeah.
And like 10x, 5x what you were doing, so that, you end up closing more deals, okay? But I also want to remind you to make sure that you have a goal and a plan, okay? For what you're doing on this wholesaling journey. Okay, mm-hmm. Don't just be in it to continue to wholesale, because as you can see, wholesaling is a hustle. Okay.
Yeah.
And also, when you're wholesaling and flipping, okay, taxes, they take out a lot of taxes because you're flipping, you're not holding it. Okay. When you hold the property, the capital gains tax goes down substantially. So you're winning in the tax game. Okay. So, when you're flipping, even like rehab flippers, they're not holding the property, so they get killed with taxes as opposed to someone who's holding a property. So I just want you to keep that in your mind and have the goal of getting some passive income properties in your future.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Definitely.
So, all right. So now what's the plan going forward? Do we have a plan?
Yeah, so pretty much all I've been doing, just because I don't have time,
right,
is all I do is cold call. So okay. I think I'm gonna invest into a dialer like Mojo. I hear people talking about.
Yeah.
So I want to get into that, and I don't know if it's too soon, but I kind of want to jump into like different markets too. But I don't know if I should just stick to one thing. I'm thinking of maybe like Georgia, like Detroit, things of that nature.
Yeah, stick to where you are right now, okay?
Right.
Get a little more under your belt, and then expand.
Yeah.
Okay? Because
yeah.
Dude, 5 more checks at 20K, you just banged out 100K. Now, I don't know how much you make a year at work, okay? But that's an additional annual salary for a lot of people. Maybe that's 2 annual salaries for people, okay? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm proud of you, bro. I'm proud.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're so more than welcome, man. Like, this is like cheers to the next one, because it's right around the corner. Because
if I had a glass of wine, I'd be like, yeah.
Yes, well, cheers to the tea.
There you go.
Water. You know what I'm saying?
Cheers.
Shit. So, what was I saying? I just lost my thought. Going to closing deals, setting your momentum, whatever. I can't remember what I was going to say, but my point is that just to keep going. Oh, that's what I was saying. Okay. For those of you who don't have time, okay, cold calling is a really good method of getting your first deal, simply because Everything else that you're doing in wholesaling is planting a seed. Like bandit signs, you're planting a seed, waiting for someone to call. Sending a letter or waiting for someone to call us. You know what I'm saying? We driving dollars and sending them a postcard. We're still waiting for them to call. So if you were to only choose like 2, okay, I would definitely add cold calling, and I would add still keep driving for dollars because that's cheap.
Yeah.
Okay? If you were only to choose 2. If you could do 3, add bandit signs. Very effective. So, Chris, if you were to give like 2 or 3 nuggets to newbies, okay, based on your experience on closing 2 deals so far in your year journey of wholesaling, what 2 nuggets would you give them?
Know your contract. You have to know your contract, and maybe have a real estate attorney look it over, make sure all your that you're in good standings, because that first deal, I could have made a lot more if I revised it or had it, would have protected myself a little bit more. So definitely know your contracts. And other than that, just stay consistent. It's just consistency. That's really all it is. I mean, sometimes I would have taken a break. Like for my first deal, my wife was pregnant. So during that whole time, we're expecting a newborn. And of course that takes up a lot of time as well once my baby is here. So it's hard to stay consistent. But I think it's just all mindset, and listen to podcasts if you have to, or read books or whatever it may be. Listen to Jennifer's channel, something, just stay consistent. And you kind of got to be obsessed. You have to be obsessed with this in order to be successful.
Yes. So now that's amazing advice, man. And congratulations on your new baby. Is it a boy or a girl?
A girl.
Yeah. How old is she now?
She's 8 months now. She's about to be 9. Then I have my son who's 5 years old.
Okay. So so that's a pretty good why. Children. Okay.
Yes.
To leave a legacy for. So all right. So also with that said, how would you, since you were saying stay consistent and you do work, and then you have a little newborn baby and another child who's 5 years old, how many times a week would you say are you cold calling? Are you managing to do it every day, every other day?
Yeah, so every day. So on my hour break that I get here, I'm pretty much calling for buyers. I'm trying to, knock out some calls, because those they go pretty quickly. When the buyers pick up and they're interested, they want to get off the phone, but they'll tell me their criteria and I can knock out more. And then once I get home, I work, 9 to 6. So from 7 to 9, I'm cold calling for sellers, and that's Monday to Friday.
Wow.
But with the Mojo dialer, that might change. Maybe I'll free up some time.
Okay. All right. That sounds great. Okay. So now you guys see he's doing it full time, but he's fully committed, and he's not making an excuse, and he's married, and he has 2 children and works full time. So I don't want to hear that people don't have time. Okay. Because you can make the time in some way, shape, or form. So, all right, Chris, my man, I'm not going to take up more of your time, okay? I just wanted to congratulate you again, man, because
Thank you.
Okay, that's a huge win, man, a huge win. And you're going to be killing it, okay? We're going to fast forward a year now, since even though you don't know everything, okay, but you still know more than you think you know. You know way more than you think you know. Fast forward a year from now, you're definitely going to have closed a lot more deals. Okay.
Yeah.
And at least I would say, dude, the way you're going with your manifestation situation going on, if you do close deals 20K, 10K, and you do at least like 15 more in the next year, dude, you're gonna blow over 100K easily.
Yeah, that's the goal. Yeah, I have my one of the first things I bought with this check was like a whiteboard. So that's exactly what I wrote on it. My goal for next year is 200K.
Okay, awesome. Make sure you write a check to yourself for 200K, okay? Make sure you see that check on a daily basis. Believe it, see it, feel it. Think about how you're going to spend that money, okay? And in doing so, you're creating, you're manifesting, okay? Things to happen for that to come to fruition. So that's really powerful, bro. So with that said, I'm going to say thank you again. I want you to enjoy the rest of this beautiful sunny day in Florida. And dude, keep kicking ass, man. And thank you for inspiring others, man. Thank you for doing it today. Okay? You're so more than welcome. Now don't leave, okay? I'm just gonna say peace out. So those of you guys who are on the fence, you look at Chris as an example, okay? He didn't know everything, but he had faith and he kept taking action. Has a wife, has 2 children, working full time, okay? And in a market where so many people are saying, oh, my market in Florida is saturated. It's saturated, okay? Whatever. There's abundance, okay? You have to come from an abundance mindset. There is always someone that needs your help. I don't care if you think you're in a saturated market. That's your mindset, okay? Come from an abundance mindset and watch what you create, okay? So peace out. I hope this inspired you guys. We'll see you on the flip side, okay? And Chris is going to be making more cold calls, getting more deals. And we'll see you soon, guys. Peace out.